To understand The Flash, we have to take you back to December 10th, 2020. Disney webcasts its Investors Day call, turning what is normally a business briefing for shareholders into a cultural event. CEO Bob Chapek announces the next slated project for the company's highest profile brands, and the internet goes wild. This is a watershed moment for the modern intellectual property-driven age, where the culture is reshaped not by any media project itself, but by the exposure of the corporate mechanics driving those projects. Everybody with a phone and internet connection is now playing inside baseball. The content of these gigantic franchises is no longer just character, narrative, and theme. Instead, the packaging and structuring of the product becomes content itself. This is the key to understanding Andy Muschietti's The Flash, which isn't so much a film as a $200 million shareholders memo, a restructuring of corporate intellectual property in the rough outline of a feature film. It's a press release announcing a reboot of Warner Bros.' shared DC universe, the kind of thing that would happen off-screen between Batman and Robin and Batman Begins, but which is now rendered part of the text itself. It's a major conglomerate rearranging the lawn furniture for 2 hours and 20 minutes. No, that's not right. We have to go back. We can fix it. Hold on. To understand The Flash, we have to take you back to August 2011. DC has just finished publishing its event comic Flashpoint. In it, the Scarlet Speedster travels back in time to prevent the murder of his mother and the framing of his father. It very quickly becomes the character's defining narrative, much like The Dark Knight Returns is for Batman, or Dark Phoenix is for the X-Men. It will be adapted for the live-action CW television show as an animated movie, and will provide the basis of the character's first live-action solo feature film. However, the comic serves a clear editorial function. It belongs to a long line of DC Crisis comics, massive events that provide the opportunity for a comic book reset. These events often serve as excuses for fans turned writers to reshape the canon, to argue over what stories and what characters count and do not, effectively playing out fandom debates in the context of stories themselves. The Flash has been at the center of these stories for decades. Flashpoint leads directly to the New 52 initiative. As such, this epic story about the Flash isn't actually about the Flash, but uses the character as an editorial tool, a cudgel that can be used to suit larger corporate priorities. In this, more than anything else, the Flash is true to its source material. No, that's still not it. I just need another go at it. Hold on. To understand The Flash, we have to take you back to July 20th, 2013. A month following the release of Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, Warner Bros. Make a firm commitment to produce The Flash. Various iterations of the project have been brewing at the studio since the 1980s, but this time they set a firm date of 2016. No. But this time they set a firm date of March 23rd, 2018. No, wait. A firm date of March 16th, 2018. Hold on. 2021. No, that's not right. July 1st, 2022. Behind the scenes, there is carnage. Directors and writers board and flee the project. Warner's plans for a shared universe are thrown into disarray with the decision to replace Zack Snyder with Joss Whedon on Justice League mid-production, rather than simply letting Snyder finish his movie and then rebooting, which is how things used to work. Star Ezra Miller becomes embroiled in a series of real-life scandals that makes it next to impossible to build the movie around the actor, creating a situation where the Flash can't be the focus of The Flash. An essential part of the larger DC brand, the film is willed into existence by director Andy Muschietti, a truly Herculean feat. It would be too much to ask it to be actually coherent, more of a cavalcade of cameos. That it exists at all is a minor miracle. The film, as released in theaters, has been written and rewritten in pre- and post-production, with the second act heavily restructured to de-emphasize its central character in favor of nostalgia. Its central theme is the generic idea that people must learn to live with their scars and be comfortable with who they are, at odds with the film's cynical purpose as a continuity reset and recasting opportunity. Although Christine Hodson is credited as screenwriter, it's good that Space Jam: A New Legacy's Algae Rhythm is still getting work in Hollywood. No, that doesn't quite explain it. There's more. We have to go back.
To understand The Flash, we have to take you back to June 2020. As Hollywood enters a nostalgia arms race, reports surface that Michael Keaton will reprise his role as Batman in the film. Fans hated his casting in Tim Burton's Batman, but the assumption is that enough time has passed that nostalgia has set in. As Ezra Miller implodes, the studio leans on the nostalgia factor of bringing back Keaton. Of course, this isn't actually the eccentric weirdo from the Tim Burton movies. It's not even a particularly convincing memory of that weirdo. The actor dutifully recites familiar lines with all the enthusiasm of a septuagenarian waiting for a check to clear. The Flash hopes that it's enough to play Danny Elfman's iconic score as a computer-generated facsimile of the 71-year-old Oscar nominee does the Black Adam pose. Who knows? Maybe it is.
We can still fix this. There's still time. To understand The Flash, we have to take you forward to June 16, 2023. The Flash is screening exclusively in theaters. Watching the movie, one gets the sense that to the studio releasing it, it doesn't matter whether the movie is good or bad. It is enough that it simply is.